Hey guys, welcome to the Family First Life SkyPoint Agency Get to 20K call. My name is Stephen Yee. I'll be your host this morning. Very blessed to have one of our guest speakers with us. Like this is so cool, man. Like we were at conference and, so many people have came up and just asked questions to see how they can grow their business and all that. And, Clarence was one of the guys that I had a chance to meet in Phoenix. And, he came up and was like, hey, Steve, I just, I'm brand new in the business. Just wanted to ask you, what I can do to get better. And I'm like, cool. That's awesome because people are trying to grow. And, I said, hey, how long you been in the business? And he was like, 30 days. And I was like, sweet. Like, what did you issue last month? And he was like, 43,000. And I'm like, why are you asking for help? Just do what you did for the next 12, 24 months and you'll be all right. So, Clarence, you there, bud? What's up, man? How are you, dude?
Doing good, man. Just waking up, about to get into the field.
There you go. Hey, dude. Thanks for jumping on. We know it's a run day for you, and you're in the car because you're a top producer. You're ready to run business right now. But hey, just wanted to jump on and basically, ask you a few questions and share some nuggets with our team. How long you been with Family First Life, man, and how has it been for you?
I started back in December, and it's been really going well. I'm just right now. I'm just really focusing on trying to get better every single day, and it's been great.
What did you do prior to Family First Life?
All right, so I'm in Vegas, and I was in the industry, in the nightclub industry, and then as soon as the COVID hit, and in December, I mean in March, the whole COVID hit, and I was laid off for a while, so I wasn't doing anything, just collecting unemployment, and I was just going to school because my main plan was trying to go to a physical therapy school.
Right.
And then when I started business, and then I just kind of jumped into it.
Nice. How did you actually run into Family First Life? Did you see an ad or was it a friend that told you about it? Like, how did you get started?
Yeah, funny story with that. During the time that I was going to school, I actually ran into a different company, and they recruited me. And you can make a $1,000, $2,000 a month doing part time, and I was like, kind of need that. I'm like over here like struggling paying school debts and all that.
Right.
And then I got into them, and I was in a Zoom call with my upline at the time. And then I called my friend Andrew, and he was in a Zoom call with my upline. And I was trying to recruit him. And it turns out this whole time from like March till like I think August, he was doing Family First Life, and I didn't even know about it. Dude, what are you doing? Why are you trying to recruit me? Why don't you just come join us? And we have 95% comp. We have free training and all that. I'm like, it's kind of a no-brainer. So I
Right.
just kind of jumped.
That's cool, man. So like your first month in the field, I mean, I'm assuming you haven't been licensed for more than a year. I'm assuming, right?
Yes.
Right. So like your first month in the field here at Family First Life, what was it like compared to where you were?
It was kind of like my biggest thing was mainly just trying to make it work because I just quit school and to jump into this. And I had some fears in myself, like I don't know if I could do this, but I told myself, man, I don't want to go back to school. I'll make it work regardless. And I just put my head down and worked.
Right. And that's the crazy part, man, is like when I got started here at Family First Life, I was roughly around your age too. And the part that was tough was like, I had all these people telling me, my parents, my family, like everybody's like, dude, you got to go to school, get good grades, get a good job, all that good stuff. And I'm like, I was an academic dude. Like in high school, I was like a 4.0 kid, like all day long. But like college just wasn't for me, right? And one of my business mentors, because I went to school for in college for business for a year, my mentor was like, dude, go ask your business professor what business he owns. And I asked one day, and he goes, I don't run a business, I teach business. And like my mentor was like, that's the reason why you shouldn't learn from him, because he's teaching you from theory, not practical, actual things you can use. And I was like, dude, that made so much sense. And at that point, you like kind of like you, I just got out of school and I just went in insurance and internet marketing, which was what I was doing at the time. So cool, man. So like you got started, you wrote 43 grand like your first month in, right? What did you do that month? Obviously, because that's not normal, right?
One of the biggest thing I kind of started with was that waiting process for me to get my license took forever. I was so excited to start. And I was bothering my upline. I was like, when is this license gonna go through? I'm like, I'm ready to go.
Right.
And that time frame, the waiting frame, I was just kind of like plugging into the system, watching every video I could. I went to boot camp 2 times, and then I was just watching every podcast, seeing what I can do. So when I start, I was ready to go.
Right.
And my biggest thing was probably my first initial lead purchase, because that kind of set me up to get going. And I think I spent like 2,500, and then that kind of set me up to get the ball rolling.
Dude, let's talk about that because that's not normal too, right? And my whole thing is like to get extraordinary results, you got to do a little bit of extra, right? Like that's just what it is. So most brand new agents start like $500 for leads, $1,000. You drop like, $2,500 right off the bat. How many leads were you able to get with that?
I work with different vendors because they told me from the beginning, you work with your lead flow, don't just focus on one. So I think I started with Game Time, Happy Agent, and then just CRM. And the CRM, I got like 100 old leads at the time, and then I think at least it was 80 Facebook leads. And I just kind of put the numbers in my favor.
Right. So like when that 2,500, I mean, you put that in, I mean, your first dial session, how'd that go?
Oh man, it was horrible. But that's kind of the one thing that's getting better at as well. A lot of people are better than me on the phone, but it's all about just getting better every single day. But I was able to book at least 8 appointments the next running day. So I mean, it wasn't as bad because I had all the numbers in my favor. I
How
wasn't
was that?
so
How was
desperate.
that run day?
Sold two, and then like I sat 4, sold 2, and then the rest was a no show. So like and I just kind of have to pick myself up and getting better on the phone.
How much premium did you get out of that?
4 grand.
Okay. So like first day off the bat, like, you buy $2,500 worth of leads, you go, $2,500 worth of leads, you book 8 appointments, sit on 4, close 2, like those numbers are average. You know what I mean? Close it for 4 grand and you basically make all your money back. Like, dude, that's crazy. Like, I don't know about you, Clarence, but like, my parents ran a business prior, they still do. It's like, dude, like you can't get profitable that quick in traditional business. Some people spend 50 to 100 grand opening up restaurants or like chain stores or whatever it is. And it's like, they take years to get in the positive. And it's like, dude, we can get in the positive in day one. Right. So, when you finish running that batch of leads, how did it turn out for you? How much do you think you paid and deposited?
I think about 8 grand that first week.
Nice. There you go. So here's the question I have for you, right? So like a lot of people that are brand new, they struggle with, the fact that like they struggle with the fact that, the investing part of it, the dialing part of it, like they're very emotional with it. How were you able to take that away? Because like I said, you're brand new, like you didn't know any better, right? So like, how were you able to take that away and just go right into dialing the phone, running the appointments? Like, were you nervous? Were you scared? Did you need to study other products? Like, how was that all like?
To be honest, I feel like everyone can be a little bit emotional and completely understand we're human.
Right.
But at the same time, you got to think about this as a business, not so much more of like, it's nothing personal, and you got to think about when you're calling the leads, they don't know you. So why are you going to be more emotional if they don't answer, and if they hang up the phone on you? They don't even know you. They don't owe you anything.
Right.
So it's more if I see it that way, I start to not care if they didn't answer or anything like that. I just started getting more focusing on the focus of what I'm trying to do is book the appointment.
So like, let's talk about booking appointments. What's your phone script sound like? Are you very simple and basic? Are you very like complex on the phone, reading off a script? Like, what's your phone script sound like? Let's pretend I'm an internet lead. Like, how would you call me, or Facebook lead, whatever it may be?
Role play on that, or you?
Yeah, man. Like, I'm the lead. Feel free to give me a call, bro. Dude, you wrote 43 grand. You're doing the training.
All right, ring ring.
Hello.
Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
Hi, Steve. This is Clarence Enriquez at the Benefit Center in Clark County. And I was just getting back to you in regards to this life insurance request for more information on that. I'm just a field underwriter trying to help you out. And you listed here your date of birth is 0509-1965. Is that right?
Yep.
And then you also listed your current address here or old address is 1235 Main Street. Is that still accurate?
That is.
Okay, perfect, Steve. My job is simple. It's just to find about 10 to 15 minutes for you to review the information that I got for you. And in regards to that, to see what you might be qualified for. Are you currently working or retired?
I'm currently working.
Gotcha. And it doesn't say on here, Steve, but are you married, single, or widowed?
I'm married.
Married. Gotcha. So, Steve, it looks like we're pretty backed up here getting this information to other families to request them. So they'll be sending me out for the next couple of days. What time are you and your wife both home from work?
About 5:30.
5:30. Okay. So what I'll do, Steve, since we're really being backed up, I have an appointment here at 5:30 and 5:45. The earliest I can get to you is 6:30. Any reason why that wouldn't work for you for about 10 to 15 minutes?
I should be home at 6.
All right, Steve. So what I'll do is I'll lock you guys down here at 6:30. Do you mind just grabbing a pen and paper and I'll give you some information to write down?
Yeah, man. I got it.
All right. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right, Steve. If you just write down my name is Clarence. That is Clarence. And then
Okay.
write down our appointment date, which is February the 25th at 6:30 p.m.
Perfect.
And Steve, out of just respect for your time and my time, is it okay if you just lock this down on your schedule so you guys won't miss it?
Yeah, I'll put that in my calendar right now.
Perfect, Steve. I'm looking forward to meeting your wife tomorrow at what time?
6:30.
6:30. All right, Steve. You guys have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow.
Sounds good, man. That's money. Like that's money. And what I mean by that is like you have people, you know, here's the thing, Clarence, is like the more I tell brand new people, like if you can challenge clients, they respect you and your time more. Right? Like you challenged me and said, "Hey man, like can you do me a favor and lock me in your calendar too?" Like most people don't say that, right? And then the other thing that you said was, "Hey, what time was our appointment again?" And you're like, you made me repeat it. Like I almost forgot the damn appointment. You know what I mean? Like what's your no-shows rate look like when you booked with that script?
So I recently just changed that because, like, honestly, it was getting on my nerves that people not showing up.
Right.
So I just recently started like changing that about like a couple weeks ago, and then because like I went to Dallas, right? So I went to a little travel trip, and what I've noticed was people are a lot different somewhere else. So I feel like in Dallas they're more. I would just very hard, like you know what I mean. I really have to dial it aggressively, and that's what I learned from it. So when I got here, I was like, that's never gonna happen again. And so I kind of changed that mindset. I have to dial aggressively to make sure people are home.
Right.
And so change that. Now I'm going from like two out of eight to maybe 5 out of 8.
Right.
And well,
There you go, man. How many appointments do you run in a week?
so I said about 8 to 9 per run day. So averaging about 30 to 34 around there.
30 to 34. So you're all you're doing is putting the numbers in your favor.
100%.
So like what's your lead flow cost you to run 30, 34 appointments a week?
So as of right now, I'm just trying to catch up with some older leads that I haven't got a hold of. So this week I've only spent about 600-700, but usually about 15 to 2 grand a week.
15 to 2 grand. So you're basically running the Sean Mike model, right? 30 appointments, spend 2 grand a week. You write 10 grand a week every single week, and the numbers just work out. Like, have you had anything different than that?
Nah, because one of the biggest thing was what they told me, just really plug into the system, because why would you reinvent the wheel if it's already working?
Right. So that's cool, man. So like your in-home presentation, let's dive into that real quick. What is your in-home presentation like? Like, are you in there for a long time? Do you build rapport? Like, what do you do in the in-home?
I don't try to build any rapport until I start, the process of like the application. My biggest thing is when they told me it's like really setting up the expectation. I mean, when we're setting up appointments, they don't know you. I mean, everyone could be saying that, they're licensed, but they don't know you. So as soon as I get inside the home, like, showing a little bit of mannerism, can I take my shoes off? You guys want that? And then as soon as I get in, I was asking them, do you guys have a table we can all sit at? And I let them know, like, hey, I don't want to take too much of your guys' time. I said, okay, to just get started. And as soon as I sit in the home, I show them my license. Hey, I'm licensed to the state of Nevada as an insurance underwriter. What I do is help families see if they can get covered with this insurance industry. And as well as I'm an insurance broker. I work with all these top area insurance carriers to provide the most affordable plan, Annuity financially, and will help insure your family.
Right.
I start off with that, and then I go in to why they fill out the form.
So like, let's say, so like, pretend you're in the home with me and my wife, right? Um, what are you saying to identify the like, why did I fill out the form? Like, are you just flat out asking me like, hey Steve, why'd you fill out the form? Or are you trying to like dig into like, hey, did someone recently pass away? Were you thinking about death? Like, how do you dig into the reason why they filled out the form?
I'm big into leading the family because they can tell me a lot of different things, but if you ask a question that you already know the answer to, then you can dig deeper. So what I would say is like, all right, I'm John, Mary, assume, Steve, and what is your wife's name, Steve?
Janelle.
No, Steve, Janelle. I'm assuming you guys fill this request out, and most people fill this out for one of three reasons. First one is you guys don't have coverage. Second is you guys have coverage, but it's not enough, or something's expiring, or you guys just want to leave a legacy. Which one kind of fits you guys' situation?
We have some, but we need to get more.
Gotcha. And is that for the family members? So you guys want to leave behind for the kids?
Yeah, I have a 1.5-year-old.
You guys have pets you want to clear away?
Yep.
Do you guys know somebody that recently passed away that got you kind of thinking about this, that made this a priority?
Yeah, actually, we do.
And then as soon as I get that answer, I write it down on the left, and then just to make sure that goes.
Nice. So like, do you pick back on, like, let's say, you're going through the financial inventory, right? And then, you show me the options and I'm like, hey, Clarence, dude, I got to think about it. I don't make decisions on the first day, right? Like, what do you say?
Before that objection comes up, I kind of learned this back then when I was watching Jake One and some other videos. Before I start, I asked him like, all right, so here's what we're gonna do today, Steve, Janelle. I'm gonna ask you guys a few questions about your health and your finances. Is that okay with you guys?
Yep.
And also your needs. Is that okay with you guys?
Mm-hmm.
And once we found out something that's gonna fit you financially, and it's gonna cover your needs and what you're trying to do in this accomplish in this appointment, and out of respect for your guys' time and my time, are you guys comfortable with giving me an answer, yes or no? I just really don't like thinking about it.
Okay. So like, if I say yes, but like, then I get to the point where you show me the options and I'm like, hey man, I gotta think about it. Like, what do you do at that point?
All right, Steve. And like I said from the beginning, as far as for this goes, if you don't mind, like while we send in a need here to protect Janelle and your family, if you don't want the coverage, just say no. We found a need that this is gonna protect Janelle. If you pass away, she can't cover the mortgage. Just say no.
Right.
Then I pick back on that, and you guys look at each other as a wife and husband and wife, and like Janelle's looking at you like, you know what I mean? It puts it back into them because now they're either gonna say yes or no.
Right.
And then from then on, I don't waste time.
So you're just challenging clients.
100%.
That's all you're doing. Cool, man. Well, let me ask you this question. Do you think that you're doing one last question regarding your in-home. Do you give 3 options or are you top down selling? Like how you only give 1 option? How are you presenting your options in the home?
It kind of depends on the scenario. Because like for final expense, and I dig deep into their budget, and everyone that I said would I dig deep into their budget. If I know they're saving this certain amount, I wouldn't mind showing them something that they can afford and I can see.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say it's a final expense client, and then they're only saving about $100, $200 a month. I'm not gonna show them what they most qualify for is gonna be stupid expensive, and they're just gonna be turned off.
Right. So you're trying to dig deep with their budget, and then when you find the budget, are you showing them 1 options or a few options? How do you go about that?
Okay, so let's say if a mortgage client, he's making about $5,000 a month, he's saving $500-$600. If he qualifies for the most coverage and I know he can afford it, I'll show him the most, and then I'll just top down sell. But if it's a client that's expense, he's only saving like $100 or $200. I'm not gonna show him what he most qualifies for because one's just gonna be turned off by it, and I'll show him 3 different options. That's what I know he can afford.
Gotcha. So you change based on the client and how the budget is for them. Cool. Cool, man. Well, let me ask you this question, Clarence, as we wrap this up, and we're going to open up the call for some of the guys to ask you some questions in a little bit. Um, when you are, let's say you were to hire me or some of these other guys right now, and we were to get started and we worked with your agency, how would you get me started? Like let's say I'm brand new, knowing what you know now, right? Because you're still a brand new agent, in my opinion. You've been here for like 2, 3 months. Knowing what you know now, and you were to get me started and say, hey, man, this is what I made. This is what I did wrong, or this is what I did right. Just do this again. What would you tell me as advice for a brand new agent?
Self-reflection is a big thing. I don't think I would be where I'm at if I didn't really sit down and just take a chill pill and just figure out what I did wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're just going blind and keep going on to appointments without really dissecting what you did and what you didn't do, you're not gonna get better.
Right.
And honestly, just believing that you can do it is the biggest thing, because that starts with you.
Right. So, but let's talk about in terms of like leads and stuff. Like, let's say I were to get started, like how much would you have me buy in leads, or what type of leads should I buy if I was getting started and I was brand new working with you?
Honestly, just as much as you can, I would say set yourself up for success. Put the numbers in your favor, 1,000, 1,500,
Mm-hmm.
and just really jump in. And lead flow, buy from different vendors, buy from the CRM, just pick up from a lot of different flows of lead, pretty much.
Gotcha. Cool, man. Well, hey, we have a few questions that people are dropping in our Q&A section. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to shoot it out in the chat or in the Q&A section so I can run these off and ask Clarence. Question number one is those three things that you talked about. I know the answer, but I'm gonna let you answer it. You fill this out because of, one, two, or three. What were those three things that you're trying to point out to them?
So I would say, I'm assuming you guys fill this out for one of three reasons. It's either because one, you guys don't have coverage. Second, you guys have coverage, but it's not enough. And three, you guys are just trying to leave a legacy behind for the family.
There you go. So for whoever asked that question, that was your answer. Do you have any issues writing appointments and you're going, hey, I'm young. I'm like, you're like in your 20s, sitting down with people that are 40, 50, 60 years old, like you feel like, they're going to punk you in the home because you're so young. Do you feel any of that?
I don't know, not really. I kind of see myself more of like, I know it's so people tell me that all the time, but it's more so like, if you just come in there with the confidence, people respect you more, and just try not to be nervous. I mean, you're there to help them out. Like,
Right.
if you have that mindset, you're not gonna have that.
Right. There you go. Vanessa is asking, what do you say to people that are weary about giving you their finances?
I got this from Steve Giordano. It was kind of funny. He was like, well, I'm the budget guy, and we're gonna figure out your budget, and my services are free. And he said they laugh, and I do that. It's funny.
Right. So you just basically deflect it and make it, reroute it to trying to save the money.
Exactly. Because I'm there to help them out. I'm buying something that's gonna be affordable for them. I'm a friend, not like someone that's gonna screw you over or anything.
Right. Have you ever gotten a house and like when you say, hey, what we're going to do today is, I'm going to ask you a few questions regarding your health and your finances. And then like you start asking questions and you're like, I don't want to give you that.
Yeah. I mean, I've run into those a couple of times. And what I just tell them, I just kind of deflect it. Well, you guys are applying for insurance, for life insurance. Like this is kind of one thing. If something were to happen to you, the insurance company wants to know what about it, just what health about it is, and then exactly.
Right. Cool, man. This is from one of our agents, Evan. He said, take us through a day in the life of Clarence on a dial day and a run day. What do you do before you go to the appointments? What do you do before you go into the, dial day? What is your mindset like? How does that all look like?
Mindset is key. I mean, we're in this business is definitely it's a mind game. I mean, we go up and downs, highs and lows, and what I learned from you is like you really just got to stay level. And for me, my biggest thing is like really just when you get to those tough days, just really just relax and just get your mind right. So what I do on a dial day, every day I wake up around 4:30. I go to the gym real quick, get a quick, like 45 minutes to an hour, get my mind flowing and then my body flowing. And then, I get breakfast, really quick breakfast, and then as soon as 7:30 hits, I'm ready to dial.
Nice. So like, how long do you usually dial for? Are you dialing from 7:30 to a specific time, or are you dialing, taking a lunch break, or just going all the way through until you have your appointments?
For me, it just kind of depends on like how much appointments I said. I don't stop until hit 15. I take a break between like 12 to 12:30, just get a quick lunch. And then after that, I just keep going
Nice.
until I hit the appointment goal.
What is your appointment goal? Is it 15? Is it 20? Like, what are you trying to usually hit when you're dialing and running appointments?
So my drop dead goal is 15. And yesterday I booked 22 just because I don't know how that app even was picking up the phone.
You run more appointments in 2 days than most people run in a week, bro.
Well, I just wanted to make sure I double book because sometimes, we're in this business, no show is part of the game. So like I want to make sure somebody's home.
Right. Are you asking, when you're doing when you're booking, especially 22 appointments in 2 days, dude, like that means you're pushing them every hour on the hour, or are you pushing them hour 15, hour 30? Like, what are you doing?
Question. So I kind of started with this because before I was just going hour by the hour, but I realized I go by hour and a half. By hour and a half, it's a lot better because that will give me more time to kind of actually see the clients and actually drive. Because if I'm driving from the south side to the north side, it takes time.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm taking a little home, like I'm missing another appointment. So I want to make sure I have time for every single one.
Do you tell the clients that you're going to be running behind?
So I usually tell them before I get off the phone as well is that just give me a time between 15 to 20 minutes before and after, just in case I run into traffic or troubles.
Gotcha. There you go. Sweet, man. So like, follow-up question with that question is in terms of your appointment schedule. So like, obviously you said 22 appointments for the next 2 days. What time's your first appointment? What time's your last appointment?
My first appointment is usually at 8, and my last appointment is at 8:30.
8:30 at night. Nice, dude. Like that's boss. Like I usually run at like 8 at my last, but 8:30 is kind of cool. So there you go, man. I mean, this is how you write 40 grand your first month in the business. You put numbers, you buy the leads. Like for those of you guys that work here, 2,500 leads, his first dial day, right? Runs 30 to 35 appointments a week. He'll get no-showed a third of his schedule, which is normal. So he'll sit on 20 and close easily more than half for 10 grand plus. Like, guys, it's just numbers. And I'm not saying that Clarence isn't good. Everybody's good if you follow the system. Like, it takes a genius to follow the system and not want to break away and do their own thing. So if you still have any questions for Clarence, shoot them out. If not, I'll keep shooting questions at him. Clarence, what's your goal this year, man? How much business you planning to issue on your own?
That red jacket, man, Hall of Fame.
Dude, you're gonna get the red jacket in like 3 months. I don't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? Like,
we'll see.
are you running like 6, 7, or are you just like, man, I'll do 4 and I'm good?
4 is the goal, but if I keep going, 5, 6, we'll see. I mean, I'm trying to get better every single day. February's kind of a little bit slow, so I'm trying to catch up now for sure. But basically senior sales manager before May. It's my birthday. That's another goal.
There you go.
I'll definitely be live, so we'll see how it goes.
Dude, you probably go senior sales manager on your own pen, bro. I'm just being honest with how much production you write. Brandon, I didn't think you finished your question because you just said, "Are you trying?" I don't know what that means, Brandon. But the other thing I was going to ask you is, in terms of your training, because you said you went through boot camp twice, you're listening to the podcast. How much has that shortened your learning curve in terms of being able to absorb the knowledge and put it in play? Because I'm asking you questions. You're going, hey, I picked this up from Steve G. I picked this up from I picked it up from everybody. Like, how much of that has been value for you to like shrink your learning curve compared to just actually, not doing that and just be like, dude, you're struggling like most agents would.
That is key. Training is key. I mean, I should do a little bit better on staying on the TNLs and all the other podcasts, but I try to make it a priority, to listen to them, and also if I have downtime or free time, definitely listen to more trainings or go back to some trainings that I listened before. Or sometimes if I don't even sell, like I would go back to different trainings and pick up from what I did wrong and then kind of reflect. And it really goes back to the reflection, self-reflection, and really just dial in to all those training and just really listen.
Right. This is a question from Brandon Kitchings, and it says, are you trying to figure things out on your own, or do you call your upline for guidance, or do you have any mentors to lean on as well?
Yeah. So as far as that goes, I've always been the type of person to just kind of figure things out on my own. I remember I only called my upline once, and after that, you know what, I'll just fail forward. I'll figure it out.
Right. So like,
Yeah.
how do you figure out underwriting and all that stuff?
Yeah. So my first month, I just after a few things with my upline, I called them once or twice. Then after that, I just kind of figured out, all right, you got to look into the cheat sheet and then figure that out, and then just kind of go from there. And then after a while, I just kind of figured it out as far as like, all right, it's diabetic, just taking insulin. People go with this carrier, and I just kind of like learn on my own, pretty much.
And see, that's the thing, guys, that I want you guys to understand is like, we have so many videos that will teach you how to underwrite. I'm not saying don't lean on your upline support or any of that, guys, but like, underwriting is really easy. We have cheat sheets, kind of like what Clarence is talking about. We have, we have underwriting guides from the carriers that will tell you exactly what they take and what they don't take. It takes you 2 minutes to get your own answer. Granted, we'll always be here to help, but it's not very hard. So Terrence Smith, do you spend $2,500 on Thursday, or do you split your lead purchases up through the week?
I kind of split it up. Like I say, on a Monday, I want all my leads to be ready to go. So I'd usually buy by Friday or Saturday, just depending if I want to buy from the CRM or the lead vendors. And then on Tuesday, I would purchase again for Thursday dial day. So I want to make sure all my leads are there as well, just ready to dial.
Smart.
So I split it up.
There you go. And see, like, Clarence is smart because most of you guys will go, hey, it's Monday, it's dial day. I'll buy leads on Monday. You go to the CRM, there are no leads, because that's not smart, right? You set up a dial day by ensuring, like, if you're going to dial on Monday, you get your leads on Saturday, because if they trickle in or they come in on a Sunday or they come in Monday morning, you have 2 days to have a batch of leads to call. So, dude, that's smart, man. If anybody has any other questions, feel free to shoot. But dude, Clarence, I appreciate you, man, literally, for taking time out your day and sharing with our team. Dude, I'm excited to see you get your red jacket. And, dude, I think you're going to easily write 5, 6, 700,000 this year, dude, at your pace right now. I don't see how you're not going to do it, but I look forward to meeting you again in Vegas when we move out there, and continue to kill it, brother. I'm excited for you, bro. And like Brandon said, thank you for jumping on, and we appreciate you for your time.
Thank you guys for having me.
All right, guys. Hey, tomorrow is the last day of the week, so let's close out the week strong. It will be the last day in February. So let's have a strong close to February, and let's launch March into mayhem. We're going to have March Madness and all that good stuff happen. So thank you guys for jumping on. Let's have a great week. We'll talk soon.